as more balanced and
comprehensive.
comprehensive.
Let me just pull out. I want to pull out on this,
Congressman.
I want to pull out on this because the larger issue here is what will be rewarded. Will it be leadership on seeking to solve the most intractable problems, or will too much pain be too painful? You said Newt Gingrich had it right. There are certainly those on the Democratic side who are listening, the professionals, and the group that's Priorities USA Action, formed by somebody, Deputy Press Secretary Bill Burton, now is doing an ad in South Carolina against Mitt Romney, putting the Gingrich flap at the center of it. Let's play that ad.
Newt Gingrich says the Republican plan that would essentially end Medicare is too radical. Governor Haley thinks the plan is courageous, and Gingrich shouldn't be cutting conservatives off at the knees. Mitt Romney says he's on the same page as Paul Ryan, who wrote the plan to essentially end Medicare. But with Mitt Romney, you have to wonder, which page is he on today? Priorities USA Action is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
So, Andrea Mitchell, this is where the debate is going.
The debate is going exactly to that point, and the both sides trying to demonize the other. And what you're saying and what Mike Murphy is saying is that people want leadership. Yeah. People want someone to show some guts here. Paul Ryan has shown considerable guts, but you're correct that nobody on the Republican side is showing any courage on the tax front. And unless taxes are part of the mix, every grown-up knows that it can't reach a solution.
Ryan opened the window today to actually come to the middle. He wants another proposal. He wants a proposal from the Democrats, and I think if they can actually, I think there is an opportunity to get there. So I think you give Ryan credit for at least bringing something to the table, and then when did the Democrats come?
Let me get Gene in here. Go ahead, Gene.
Just point out two things. Number one, Republicans will not talk about tax increases. Democrats talk about a lot of budget cuts. They, the question for Democrats is how deeply do you cut the budget? And the second thing is, on Medicare, people don't want it to be a voucher program. They don't want the kind of change Paul Ryan wants. So you can call that leadership, but if nobody wants to follow, it's not leadership. It's not what people want.
The Democrats talk about goals for budget cutting. They politically don't want to talk about actual budget cuts because they don't want their voodoo to be done to them. So you can argue, I think correctly, that the Republicans are very, they're not ready to take heat on taxes. But the Democrats aren't ready to take heat on any kind of broad-based tax or on spending cuts for real.
Well, actually, that's not true, Mike. You know that. A broad-based tax is exactly what the President and the Democrats have proposed. We've said, let's go back to the same rates that were in place during the Clinton administration for the folks at the very top. That's
No. Everybody in America over $100,000, 100%, you won't pay the deficit this administration has racked up.
Look, that's over $700 billion. Right. And that's a big chunk of the money. Now, look, the bipartisan groups have said you need balance. If you want to have come to the table, we have a forum. Vice President's leading some talks. The Republicans have said that they're not going to deal with revenue as part of that. Democrats have said we're prepared to deal with the cuts. We're prepared to make
cuts. On the entitlements done. Yeah. That's the issue. It's a two-way street, and that's
well, let me ask this, Congressman.
The Dems go one way, and the Republicans go the other way.
Let me get in here for a second. I'm going to go to a break in just a minute. I want to ask one substantive question, and that is, will the idea of caps on spending survive